5-6, transformations. All right, what is a transformation? Transformation is a change in position or size. Now, if a figure changes size, and that's a dilation, and you've already done dilations, right? So I don't need to reteach you dilations. But we need to understand what happens and how you can change a position on a graph. So really what we're looking at is graph stuff, yes?
Isn't it like flipping and rotating?
Everybody, this is all review. You've all had this. So a translation is really just picking up an object and putting it someplace else and keeping it in the same position. So like it's right side up. You're not rotating it, you're not flipping it. You're just sliding it left and right and up and down on your graph, or a combination of the two. All right, so slides an object. All right, so let's do an example here. Example 1. Draw a graph. Here are your points. So point A is at 1 or -1, -1. Point B is at -1, -3. And C is at -3, -1. Everybody graph that on your papers. Everybody graph it on your papers. Yep, connect the dots. Forms a triangle. Graph them. Put them on their right. All right, so that's a triangle ABC. We're going to translate this, which means we're going to slide it. Okay, so remember what I said. You can move it left and right, up and down, or a combination. So here's what I'm going to tell you in this. We're going to translate this 2 units right and 3 units up. 2 units right, 3 units up. So if I wanted to write a rule, instead of writing, yes. Okay, what is it? Kind of. But a formal way of writing is what is happening to x and y. What are we doing to x? Huh?
Moving it.
What are we doing to x?
+2.
Thank you. +2. We're moving it to the right. So x is +2. What is y? What's happening to y?
+3.
+3. So this is what your rule would look like, okay?
Oh.
So if you read this as your directions and they want a rule, this is what you would write. 2 units to the right means you're going to add 2 to x because it moves it to the right too. Now, This is your pre-image. This is what we're starting with. It's called the pre-image. And what you're making is called the image. These are your prime letters. Remember when we were putting primes on the letters? Okay, so A prime is going to be what? Without graphing it, what is it going to be by a show of hands? Raise your hand if you know what it's going to be. All right, Neffy, tell me what A prime is going to be. Okay, -1 plus 2 is going to give me 1. And what's the y going to be?
2.
That's right. So A prime's at 1, 2. There's 1. There's A prime. Okay? Alright, everybody do B prime and C prime. And then graph it. B prime and C prime, graph it. B prime and C prime. Some of you have any problems? Got to add everything correctly. So B prime is at 1, 0. Is that correct?
Mm.
Okay. C prime. -1, 2. So what was this? A prime, B prime, C prime. So just by looking at the picture, the image you get, the answer you get is your prime picture. Got it? And this is what we started with. Now just looking at the picture, you ought to tell me what the rule is. So even if I didn't give you this, you might have a problem where they give you a picture and you got to tell me the rule. So all you need to do is look at one point. Let's say we look at C and look at C prime. Write down those coordinates and then say what do we do to C to get to C prime. So the x-coordinate C is 3. The x-coordinate C prime is, -3, -1. What do we do to C to get to C prime? We added 2. So just by looking at pictures, you can get the rule. Is everybody all right with that? Anybody lost? All right, example 2. Or I should just say reflection. It's not even an example. Let's talk about what a reflection is. It flips a figure across a line. Gives you the mirror image, if you want to think of it that way. What's that for? Bummer. Lost money and social studies.
I did just $1. Spent a bunch of money. I mean, it's so shitty. I don't know how much money you gave me.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so here it is, example 2. Your image, your pre-image, A is at -3, 1. B is at -1, 1. And C is at 1, 5. -1, 5, sorry. Now I want you to reflect this across the y-axis. first of all, plot your preimage on your graph. And then tell me what it would look like if it was flipped across the y-axis. Actually, write it down. Draw the prime image, the actual image, across the y-axis. Faster, 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 faster.
Wait, can we draw what it looks like?
Yeah, you do everything. So you draw the pre-image.
Sorry.
So there's the pre-image. If I were to take this and fold it on the y-axis, it would be over on this side. So, A prime, Jesse is where?
1, 1.
A prime.
Oh, no, just kidding. Wait. A prime would be at, would it be at 3, 1?
Yes.
Good job, Jesse.
B prime, Coogan?
B prime would be at 1, 1.
Yes. And C prime. Liam? 1 prime. Good.
Is it in here?
Yeah.
So there is your image. Now I just have a question for you. When you're reflecting, what do you notice? If you're reflecting about the y-axis, what do you notice from your pre-image to your image?
That A.
Sabrina? What does? I mean, this one doesn't. That one doesn't. The x values do. They change signs. The y values stay the same. Something to think of. Maybe you want to write that down in your notes. Okay, rotation. Rotation is the fun one, if there's something fun. Turns a figure about a point. Now, and for our purposes, we're going to turn it about the origin. Okay? So, let's just, I'm going to show this up here
Okay.
for you. I'm going to go ahead and take, I'll take this image as my pre-image here. So at 3, 1.
It's PT. Yep, alright. It doesn't cookie.
And what's PT?
B prime is 1, 1 and 1 prime. Alright, so draw it on here. Here's example 3. So here is your image. I'm sorry, your pre-image.
Are you putting over the y-axis? Oh, you're right.
There's something new here, okay?
Way to go.
Somebody go take it out. So we're going to rotate this 2 times. So we'll get a prime image and then we'll get a double prime image.
What do people think about you when they watch these videos? That you've seen throw markers and boxes across.
Yeah, it's gonna be funny. What if like some famous person places it all over Facebook?
Okay. Now, watch. Rotation means turning. So I'm going to show you an easy way to do this.
Go ahead.
I'm going to rotate this counterclockwise. I'm going to rotate this counterclockwise. 90 degrees, and then 180. Watch how we do this. It's very simple. I can't turn the board, but I can turn my paper. So, rotating counterclockwise is what direction?
That way.
Left.
90 degrees would just be this much. There's my image. So, all I have to do is look at this. So, A prime is going to be at -1, 3. B prime is going to be at -1, 1. And C prime is going to be at -5, 1. Then turn it back up and plot your points.
Good job, Skipper.
Skipper, that's terrible.
Alright, so that's the rotation. This direction, 90 degrees. And that, Liam. Yes. Alright, so now this is your image, your pre-image. You go back to your pre-image, and I want to rotate 180, so what am I going to do? 90, 180. Look at it, and then write down my double prime coordinates. So A prime is now at -3, -1. B double prime is at -1, -1.
It's 2
Double
primes.
B.
Yeah, 'cause this is the second thing we're doing in the same with the same pre-image.
Okay.
And then C double prime is at -1, -5. All right, and then turn it back over and plot those.
3, 1.
And then that's what your picture would look like. You don't have to draw the curvy arrows.
I'm glad we don't do this in here.
Okay? Now, if you don't want to turn your paper, you can learn what it means to rotate. You can look and see what happened from A to A prime, and look at what happens with your X's and Y's.
Switch.
Yeah. And then look what happens if you turn it 180 degrees from this to this. What happened? The signs change. The number stays the same, the signs change. This is at +3, 1. Look at the signs, they're totally different. So 180 degrees just flips your signs. Okay, so, or you just rotate your paper. Alright, your assignment. Should you choose to do it, is page 228, 1 to 23 all, and 30 and 31. What?
Are they only gonna rotate 90 degrees on the problems that are about that early, but that much?
Yeah.
That's
Now 270 would be what?
270.
90 more than 180?
What?
What?